We are going to do an easy pop quiz. Which of the following two statements are found in the Bible? God will destroy them which destroy the earth. God will destroy them which protect the earth. Well, which is biblical? We find the following in Revelation 11, verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou, God, should give us reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. That is the testimony of Scripture, very clear and direct. God tells us that He will destroy those who destroy the earth. But if you listen to many evangelical speakers or programs, you will quickly get the idea that the other statement is the biblical one, that God will destroy them which protect the earth. Evangelicals tell us some of the most dangerous people right now are environmentalists, focusing on protecting the earth. Evangelicals claim that environmentalists are the enemy and that they are going to destroy our way of life, destroy our prosperity, or just destroy humanity in general. Evangelicals claim environmentalism is incompatible with Christianity. But to do so, they have to invent a Bible passage that doesn't exist and ignore the one that does. It is interesting that the evangelicals who despise nature protection are the same ones that prophecy has told us will destroy our religious freedoms and enact the Sunday law. Watch my presentation, Misdirection and Guile, to study these details further. Should we trust anything they say about who the true enemy really is? Evangelicals are truly the broken cisterns of Babylon. We should not be parroting them on this or any other issue. But unfortunately, too many Adventists are very active denouncing any form of nature or animal protection. We are told not to have anything to do with anyone working to stop environmental damage. We seem to have a trash the world and get a new one free attitude, as we expect Jesus to bail us out once we ruin this planet. It's all going to burn anyway, is a comment I have heard from too many Adventists. But that ignores what we just read in Revelation 11, verse 18. God will not give a free pass to those who participate in the destruction of the earth. So saith inspiration. But I want to make one thing very clear. I am not an environmentalist. I have never claimed that title, and I will not be doing so anytime soon. I will explain why in a moment. However, I know many people who are environmentalists, both Adventists and non-Adventists. And I can say very definitively that they are not the enemy. They are not trying to destroy you or your way of life. They are interested in maintaining life on earth, both now and in the future. How is that evil or wrong? What exactly has any environmentalist ever done to you? Have they tried to kill you? Have they really taken away your job? That claim is made often, but I have yet to meet anyone who actually lost their job due to someone else who opposes more pollution or oil drilling. When you cut away the political propaganda, there is very little to justify the anger directed against this group. And don't start repeating some conspiracy theory about what their real agenda is. Conspiracy theories are a non-starter for me. If you can't demonstrate a claim from open evidences and facts, I have no interest in unproven nonsense. But I said I am not an environmentalist, even though I know and understand them. In fact, I wrote an entire appendix in my book, Animals, Ethics, and Christianity, detailing why I am not an environmentalist. This is found on pages 104 to 106. And I recommend you refer to that for specifics. But I defend fully the concept of protecting animals from abuse because that is what the Bible teaches. Inspiration promotes animal protection very strongly. I easily wrote an entire book on this subject using inspired quotes that make this principle very clear. Despite my refusal to claim the title of environmentalist, that has not stopped other Adventists from labeling me as one. Those who oppose what I have said on various issues are quick to slap me with that label, as if it is enough of a slur to dismiss whatever I have to say. My favorites are those who add on radical environmentalists, because they are sure that their work of refuting my positions are now complete. Anyone radical must be entirely untrustworthy. Despite that proven fact that every true follower of God throughout history has been labeled in exactly the same way. Of the following list, who would not have been called radical by his enemies? Enoch, Moses, Elijah, Jeremiah, Jesus, Paul, Martin Luther, John Wesley, Roger Williams, William Miller, and the White family. Being radical is often a sign of fidelity to the truth, but never mind. Despite the attempts to paint me as an environmentalist, name-calling does not make it true. So now, briefly, I will detail why I do not consider myself an environmentalist and let you decide for yourself. First off, I will be choosing my words very carefully. When I say most, I mean most, as in the large majority. When I say many, I mean less than most. So here we go. Number 1. Most environmentalists defend sport hunting, as long as it is of a common species. I do not. Killing animals for fun is an abomination that has no place in a civilized society. It is significant that Orthodox Jews condemn sport hunting, since the Hebrew Scriptures, the Old Testament, are totally against blood sports. Nimrod will always stand for villainy, and his primary attribute was being a great hunter. The Bible record is clear. Number 2. Most environmentalists defend sport fishing, again, as long as the fish are common. I do not. Killing or torturing pain-feeling vertebrates for fun is an abomination that destroys countless innocent lives. It is also significant that the Bible never once promotes sport fishing. Not once. It is impossible to use the biblical examples of people fishing for food, survival, to justify inflicting pain and death on fish for fun. Number 3. Many environmentalists defend sustainable commercial fishing. I do not. There is no such thing as sustainable fishing. For proof, watch the documentary Seaspiracy, which blows the myth of sustainability out of the water. Remember as well the directive that God sent to his final generation. Counsels on Diets and Foods, page 380. Vegetables, fruits, and grains should compose our diet. Not an ounce of flesh meat should enter our stomachs. Let's be clear, that includes all fish and seafood products. There are far better ways to obtain food. Number 4. Many environmentalists accept the eating of animals raised on factory farms and eat dairy products and eggs. I do not. Factory farming, including the ranching and dairy industries, is the greatest threat in existence to our health, our lives, and to the very survivability of everything around us. If you doubt this, watch the documentary Cowspiracy. Then read the countless and direct statements in the spirit of prophecy condemning meat eating, the possession of flocks and herds, and warning that milk and cheese will be unfit to eat in the last days. For those scoring at home, that would be now. Now, the interesting thing is this. 30 years ago, hardly any environmentalists were vegetarian. They pretended it was irrelevant to protecting the earth from harm. That is changing. Now, more and more environmentalists are realizing that the entire meat-eating industry is toxic to the animals, the earth, and every human being living on it. More and more are becoming vegetarian, or rather vegan, as the dairy industry is just as dangerous and abusive. So this is one area where environmentalists are coming closer to the position I have been promoting for decades, the true position that inspiration upholds. Number 5. Many environmentalists support abortion. I do not. I have never supported it. I do not support it now, and I will not be supporting it in the future. Any attacks you hear saying otherwise about me or Dennis are either lies or slander or both. Here's a fun fact. A lie repeated often and repeated loudly is still a lie. It is not actually transformed into truth. Please remember that when you hear various slanderous claims. Number 6. Most environmentalists say we can save the earth by various methods, as individuals and as governments. I do not. The Bible tells us the opposite. The earth will continue to degrade until the second coming ends all. This alone should clearly set me apart from most environmentalists. Now, I could go on. There are plenty more issues I could mention, but these are the biggest differences that prove I am not an environmentalist. Now, it is true that I defend nature and animals from destruction and abuse for either cruelty or greed. I do this not because I am an environmentalist, but because I am a Christian. What does the Bible say? Proverbs 12, verse 10. A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. The wicked do not go to heaven. This is salvational. This matters. The Bible teaches that animal abusers do not go to heaven. Ellen White says, in Patriarchs and Prophets, page 443, he who will abuse animals because he has them in his power is both a coward and a tyrant. Cowards and tyrants do not go to heaven. This is salvational. This matters. Ellen White teaches that animal abusers do not go to heaven. Many religions teach that animals don't matter. Here we have a binary choice of inspiration versus man's theories. Which will we follow? So I definitely defend nature, but not because I think anything will save Earth from destruction. I defend nature because inspiration says to do so. Evangelicals teach that it doesn't matter what we do to nature. Evangelicals teach that God will destroy those that protect the earth. But that verse is nowhere to be found in Scripture, any more than the mythical Bible verse that says we should worship on Sunday. Even though we cannot stop the final destruction of earth, God holds us responsible if we participate or support earth's destruction. Those destroyed in Revelation 11, verse 18, do not go to heaven. This is salvational. This matters. Again, we have inspiration versus man's theories. Which will we follow?